Well, hello my friends, Furtado here, the Rebel Turner, and I am back in hopes that I can finish up where I started up last week on the flat platter. And prior to even getting started, the first thing I did, because I had talked about how I was going to finish it, probably with a cherry lid and something that was going to be very dark to do a finial. Well, I was looking for a piece of ebony, which I know would be very dark and would be the ideal piece, but I don't think I have any, or if I do, I can't find it. So what I have done is I've located a small piece of cherry, which I'm pretty sure it's cherry, cut it down big enough to make the lid, and I've come across a couple of small pieces of wood that I had laying around. Not sure on exactly what it is. So what I do to see how the colors will work together, you know, and this does not look like it gives me enough of a contrast, and that might be the case. But wetting it down, at least applying a little wet spot to the wood, will tell you what it is or what kind of a color you're going to end up with once all said and done. And you can use that as a guide to your color choices. So by wetting a small piece of this cherry right here, I can see what kind of color I'm going to come up with, which is a reddish medium tone. And by wetting this, you can see that I come up pretty dark with this piece of wood. So I think between these three colors, I think it will work. Between the color of the ash, which is the piece, the red, and then this very dark brown, which might be Billy, something like that. Might be. Also, before I get started on the turning, I want to say something, because I talk quite a bit, and I say a lot of things that are not necessarily things that I have done research on, but are my personal beliefs only. So you got to take it with a grain of salt, and you can do a research to see if in fact that is the case. I can tell you that the first time I got back to the lathe after this heart attack, the level of confidence that I've always had while wood turning has been greatly reduced. So when I was doing this turning, I always did it with quite a bit of caution and on a certain level of unsureness of what would happen with the tool, and kind of scared. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I honestly believe in my own, this is my belief, not necessarily a fact, that fear is a big contributor to people getting hurt. And I always lacked that. I always lacked that fear, because I knew exactly what was going to be happening when I approached the wood. And that confidence is not with me right now. So I will go in there with a little bit more caution and a certain level of unsureness that might come across on my turning on my videos. So with that will probably just prompt me to be a little bit more cautious, and also be telling you a little bit more conscientious, be a little bit more conscientious of what I'm doing to make it safe in that respect. So might help you out some. Because, I mean, if you feel confident of doing something and you just do it, you know what you're doing, and, you know, you really are not aware of all the fears and the dangers that might be incorporated with it. And being at this phase, it might actually be a good eye-opener to my turnings and to show you what's going on. And I'm going to show you an example on that other camera of what my lack of confidence has done in my particular turning. I am sure that some of you noticed while I was starting this turning that the back end of this piece, it's smooth in front. The front looks good. And this is where I was gaining a little bit of confidence as I was working it. But the back is really rough, and I got some chip-aways out to this area that I need to clean up. I need to do a good amount of work on the backside. Now, what do? I got a piece that's already established. I don't have it. I'm not going to glue block this. I'm not going to screw it into any type of faceplate. But I do have a lid here that has a mortise, somewhat, which is the recess for my lid. So I will take advantage of that as my mounting on my 100 millimeter jaws. And I hope that that size is what I need. So I'm going to, at this point, remove it and mount it up on my other jaws. So I had a tenon over here. The back is pretty rough. Rough cuts, tool marks, chip-aways. So let's see what I can do to fix that up. Well, so much for my pin. My pin just broke off on my lathe, so I no longer have a lock mechanism. And I knew that was just a matter of time because I had been kind of abusing that. Now I gotta lock up the tailstock with a wrench, which is really not what I wanted to do. And at the same time, I'm going to finish up the whole bottom. Now, I could literally go in here and do this with a 80 grit sandpaper. But that's not what we're all about. We're about getting clean cuts, clean finishes with our turning so you can be better at what you do. But seeing that I'm still lacking that strength of confidence, I don't know if I want to go in here and use my bowl gouge. And that's normally what I would use. Go in here nice and easy and clean this up, or at least do it on a shear scrape mode. And I'm going to attempt very lightly, see what I'm getting with the shear scrape, see if I can get rid of this fuzz. And this will end up being an 1/8 of an inch thick. Right now it's about 3/16. Okay, this is cleaning up pretty well in here. I still got a little bit of room that I can go. And hopefully finish this off. I'm not daring enough right now to go in from the outside, which is what I should be doing. But I feel pretty good about what's going on here. Got a little bit of a right in this transition, which I'll still be able to clean it up. And I should be able to clear up this area slightly. I'm going to do that with a scraper. Okay, it's time to change my strategy. We don't have to be superheroes. All I need to do is get that cleaned up. So I'm going to do the rest of this with the sander. Time to go in there and start applying my finishes, which will be Yorkshire grit and Aubergine juice. This is rough, but that's pretty much the area that I'm going to need for the lid. Now I can put it back on those jaws, can do a worm screw on this, and the hole from the worm screw would actually be the hole for the tenon to go in. So why don't I do that and see how that works for you. Right off the bat. Pretty good. Not tight. Could have been a little bit tighter. And if I wanted to make it slightly bit tighter, I would just ignore that and come out just a 64th of an inch further than that, or taper out a little bit further and eliminate that. I'm gonna go from the back and shape it up. Okay, piece of rectangle, close to square stock. If it is square, it will help you out some on mounting it up in this fashion. But just try going in between whatever amount of jaws you can catch. And you're not going to rely on the jaws as being the final grip on this. You're going to rely on the live center on here. I'm going to start this off with my roughing gouge shaped like a bowl gouge. Now, so I could continue with this, but why? When I got a nice pointy bowl gouge, 5/8, that will go in there a little bit easier. So I'm going to go with that route. Speed is at 1800 RPM. Slow it down. I feel a little bit of vibration here. I have split it up over here a little bit, guaranteed. Yeah, I did. So I'm going to cut that off completely at a little bit slower of a pace and bring the live center back to it again. Well, really not quite the colors that I was looking for, but the point is make it contrasting enough. It is pretty much what I indicated right from the beginning: dark, medium, light. But it could have been darker, and the cherry worked out fine. The ebony is the only thing, and I believe this might have been mahogany that I use here. And against the cherry it works okay because it goes away from the red, it goes into the brown, so therefore it works. So here it is, a little piece of wood that normally would not do anything with, and it's a pretty nice little rectangle box, keepsake box. Not going to fit much on this one because it's very shallow, but shallow bottom, but the top does have a little bit of a concave as well, adding to it. So total thickness of the board was probably 3/4 heavy, maybe 7/8 of an inch. So out of a 7/8 of an inch board, you see that you can create something that could be appealing depending on what it's used for or the design. So the lid fits pretty nice. And don't forget, if you like it, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thank you, and we'll see you very soon again, I hope.